Okay, we are recording for the umpteenth time. Oh my goodness, this has been a pain in the butt. In my teaser for this video, I said that this mic has been called the best cheap mic in the world, and that was from a professional with a ton of experience in audio. Now, if you haven't checked out ppm6.tv's YouTube channel, you really should. His review and a couple of others convinced me to buy this mic. Well, yeah, you're listening to it right now, so I can't show it to you, but I will in a moment. What is it? Why the 8 by SE, otherwise known as the sE8. Up until now, you've been listening to it with a modest amount of post-production correction, so let's turn that off and hear the raw sound of the mic. This room is untreated with lots of hard surfaces. My lights are loud and the kitchen is next door, so it's a real-world test. The sE8 is a cardioid pattern microphone. Now, as videographers and cinematographers, we tend to focus on shotgun or supercardioid style mics because they're problem solvers. The most common problem we face is environmental noise, and these mics do the best job of eliminating the background, but they don't do the best job of reproducing sound. You'll spend $1,000 on a shotgun to get the quality of sound you can find in many $300 cardioid mics. And even at that price point, the shotgun probably won't sound as good in certain quiet environments where you either want a little room tone or where a hard surface is bouncing the sound back around to the front of the mic. And that's why most professionals use a cardioid on set or indoors. But what about the sE8? Isn't that what we're here to talk about? Well, on paper, the mic looks good to outstanding. It requires 48 volts of phantom power and has a built-in attenuation pad with both -10 and -20 dB switches, meaning you can literally record a plane taking off before it distorts. And it has a low-cut filter that can do both 80 and 160 Hz. Having dual low-cut capacity is something you don't find in budget mics. The capsule is handcrafted. Yes, assembled by hand, each one of them. And while it looks replaceable, I don't see any other polar pattern caps available for it. The frequency range is 20 to 20, which is fairly common, and the sensitivity is -32 dBV, and a signal-to-noise ratio of 81 dB, both of which are excellent. It claims a noise floor of 13 dB, which is top of its class, though some reviewers have disputed this claim. I can't speak to the noise floor because all of my recording environments are pretty noisy, and that's true when I'm in the field too, so the exact number isn't important to me, just so long as it's quiet. And this one, it is. Okay, that's it on paper, but is it any good in real life? Well, the build quality is excellent. It's a fine-looking mic and quite weighty. The sE8s are frequently compared to the classic Neumann KM184. The SE costs about $285 here in the USA compared to the $700 Neumann, so it's about 40% of the cost. Now, I don't own the 184, so I can't speak to its similarity, but YouTube comparisons I've heard make it sound nearly identical. Let's take it through the paces so you can judge the quality for yourself. This is the mic at 10 inches, which is where I think it sounds best for my voice. A world of dew, and within every dewdrop, a world of struggle. To my ear, the bass is rich, detailed, and warm, and the tonal quality as you go up in frequency is smooth and flat, very impressive. At 10 inches, it's the closest you'd boom this mic because it's just barely out of frame. This is the sound at 18 inches, the farthest you'd boom a cardioid mic. Over the wintry forest, winds howl in rage, with no leaves to blow. The sound is remarkably similar to 10 inches. The mids and upper frequencies are a little bit stronger and the bass ever so slightly softer. But in moving between 10 and 18 inches, the full range for booming a mic like this, you get very little variation beyond volume. If I return to about 12 inches, we can listen to the off-axis rejection. Being a cardioid mic, you actually want as little rejection as possible at 45 degrees. This is what the mic sounds like at 45 degrees. This is what it sounds like directly in front of the mic. It's slightly warmer and bassier in front, but still very rich and great at 45 degrees. This is the sound at 90 degrees and 12 inches away. It should have some rejection at this point. And this is the sound of the mic from directly behind in the rear. It should have very good rejection at this point. While I don't own a Neumann, I do have an Oktava MK012. This is another one of those mics that punches in above its weight class, and it's an indie favorite for both film and music recording. My version has a coveted Michael Joly modification. At least I think it does. It was advertised as such when I bought it, and I know from the sound that it's smoother than an unmodified Oktava. I just don't know with absolute certainty that it's a Michael Joly modification because, I bought it used. Now, comparisons are always very subjective, but people tend to say that the modified MK012s sound very much like the Nuemann KM84s, a $2,000 mic. Now, I don't know, and I don't know if my Oktava sounds anything like them, but I was immediately impressed with the sound of the Oktava when I purchased it. So let's compare to hear what stands out between these two mics. This is the Oktava MK012. I'm at a distance of 12 inches, which is a sweet spot for the mic. To my ear, it is very detailed and quite smooth across the frequency range. The mic is brighter, especially in the upper frequencies, and less warm. This is the sE8 at a distance of 12 inches, which is pretty close to its sweet spot. To my ear, it is warmer and more natural or organic sounding. It's also very detailed and smooth across the frequency range. It's not as bright as the Oktava, but the tonal quality is a little more seductive. Here, I am recording with both mics side by side on the boom. Because I would not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. Here, I am recording with both mics side by side on the boom. Because I would not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. And here, for a quick comparison and to clean your oral palate, is the sound from a Tram TR50 lav under the shirt. The Tram is quite bright for a lav mic, and as such, it cuts better with the Oktava. So if I was using the lav as a backup on a production, I might choose the Oktava over the sE8. But one-on-one, I find the sE8 to be slightly more pleasing. So at $285, is the sE8 the best cheap mic in the world? I don't know, but it's a damn sweet mic for the price. And overall, with my voice, I prefer it to the Oktava MK012, and keep in mind that mine has been modified. Granted, any mic over $200 isn't really cheap, unless you're a professional sound guy who's used to spending $1,000 or more. But this beautifully made, hefty little mic is an exceptional value, and I don't think anyone would argue that it doesn't produce sound on a level with the big boys. It's punching far above its weight and wouldn't be out of place at any level of production. My next review will be of the Nanlite FS300. Nanlite has been producing some great quality lights of late. Does the budget FS line keep up with the competition? I'll go over the strengths and weaknesses, so hit the subscribe button and be there when it drops.